Welcome to another week on the Saturday edition of the Locked On Women's Basketball Podcast. The podcast where sometimes even the hosts forget they have to do this every week. Hunter, what are we covering this week?
This week we're talking about rookies, our finale to our rookie coverage of the 2024 season. We'll talk a bunch of rookies. Lincoln might even drop some stats on some rookie that had like a first in PER but only played like 1 minute. So stay tuned for that.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome. You are Locked On Women's Basketball. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a free 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. My name's Cruse. I'm your Saturday host covering the WNBA draft and prospect scouting. I'm joined by my co-hosts Adler and Lincoln Shafer. Covers the draft with a focus on player development in the game within the game. Lincoln also contributes to our draft coverage here at The Next and Locked On Women's Basketball. Just the rookie class, we saw like the greatest, arguably like the greatest point guard season ever. Like you could make the case there. It's like one of the best point guard seasons ever. I wouldn't say it's the best.
Season. It's the best. Yeah. It's the best true rookie point guard season.
True, yeah.
But like, it's at least top 10 of like best point guard seasons ever. Like it's close.
Probably.
Yeah, which
for the last since the All-Star break and the Olympic break, Caitlin's been averaging 24 points and 9 assists per game.
Is that good?
I'm checking my watch. It says that's pretty good.
What kind of watch do you have?
I don't have a watch.
For those listening and not watching on YouTube, Lincoln has written on his wrist in Sharpie. That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of players were good. The second best player in the class tore her ACL like 12 games in, so that's unfortunate. She was playing pretty awesome before that. She was like
looked like an all-world defender.
She was like so if we prorate mentally her like 12 games or whatever into a season, she would be like the third most valuable defender this season.
Yeah, she was like all W caliber. Start.
Aldi for sure.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. I think.
What was funny is I remember like towards the end of the season, people were tweeting Cameron Brink's like still top 15 in blocks, and she hasn't played in like 3 months.
Yeah, it took until I think August for Camila Cardoso to pass Cam as the rookie blocks total.
Yeah.
Like, she was absolutely elite defensively in her 12 games played. Here's a question that I want to ask that is a little weird. Over under
a weird question.
The 2024 draft that make an All-Star game. I'm gonna set the line at 6 even.
Under. I don't even have to look at who's in the class. I'm just taking on 6. I'm taking the under.
You're saying 6 players?
6 players, I think, could make an All-Star game in their career here.
Then you probably should have set the under 5.5. That would be a little more interesting.
Yeah.
This is why Lincoln is not the next official odds maker.
Yeah, I don't bet. I live in a state where it's illegal, so not my problem.
So yeah, like Caitlin, Cam Brink,
Rikia.
Angel's already made one. That's 3
Angel
already right there. Then you're probably saying Cardoso. Does she make one?
Right. The question is Cardoso.
She might.
It is really hard for me to imagine Cardoso ever averaging enough points.
If Izzy can't make it, I don't know if she's gonna make it.
Yeah, if Izzy can't make it,
or yeah,
and like she doesn't, and like for as big as the fan is, like Camila does not have the like rabid fan following to like push her over in the way that like Redacted. You know what I mean. Like you need a certain level of push if you're not going to be like objectively and arguably that level of player. Just 6 players get voted in, and then it's like coaches awards, obviously. It's hard to see that. Rikia obviously probably will have a season with the scoring numbers sometime in the near future. Even if she doesn't like turn into a long, even if she doesn't turn into like a long-term, like 55-6 starter, like you're still going to get, at least based on what we've seen this season, unless there's some horrible shooting regression, you're probably going to get like, the absolute like 99th percentile Glory Johnson season out of her.
You'll get like
and that's an all-star.
15 points and 4.5 rebounds per game.
Yeah. Aaliyah Edwards feels like an all-star in our heart, but not in reality. She feels like an Asia Jones. Who's the center from Houston who played for the Dream?
I'm not sure.
2005 draft.
Lost me.
God, Sancho Little. She feels like a Sancho Little Asia Jones type player where she's going to be like a top like.
Didn't they make it there like once?
What I was going to say was she's going to be like a top 8, top 10 big in the league for like a very solid chunk of years in like a prime, but she's only going to make like maybe 1 or 2 all-stars in that span just because of how the numbers are going to look.
Is that like the Elizabeth Williams too?
No, she wasn't as like Elizabeth Williams has never been a particularly like double positive 2-way player. She's always been like a very good defensive player who has done to a greater or lesser extent enough on offense.
Yep.
Like Sancho Little for her time, H. Jones even more so for her time, were very strong producers on that end, one way or another.
Makes sense.
I think like what we're saying is,
imagine if you combined Erica D'Souza and Elizabeth Williams into one player.
Ooh, that is...
Wait, that's Aaliyah Boston. Presumably. I just realized I just reverse engineered the like Aaliyah Boston upside.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The interesting part about this class is, like we're talking about, there's pathways for Edwards to make an all-star team. Cardoso, I would say JC Sheldon, maybe, probably not though.
It's JC's a tricky one because like she had a very normal rookie season. Oh, what a catch! Oh,
it's intercepted. Yeah. Wait, touchdown? They don't know what they're doing here. I don't know what's going on here either.
This is going to be a Fail Mary situation. Also, for those who can't tell, we are watching Lincoln's beloved Huskers. I think it should be a touchdown. Hold on. This is
Nebraska.
Podcasting is, as Lincoln has recently found out in the past week or two, podcasting is a visual medium. Anyway, JC's weird.
Absolutely.
JC's weird because that's tricky. JC's weird because she had, by normal standards, a very fine rookie season. If you actually look at her numbers, they're like way better than you think based on watching her. And part of that is because of her reticence as a scorer, which, in and of itself is not good to watch. But this isn't like...
That's just a byproduct of being a not insane overconfidence guard that's playing next to Arike Ogunbowale.
Yeah, it's playing next to Arike Ogunbowale alongside, for much of the season, 2.5 to 3 non-shooting forwards and centers in a system that had terrible spacing, and being a rim pressure guard who was forced to play the 1. She didn't really get to attack off the catch much. Yada yada yada. You get what I'm going for here. It was the type of season where I don't think I'm adjusting my expectations up or down in any direction, but I think when you look back over this coming winter and spring, there are going to be a lot of people who aren't maybe as, if you're not as focused on sort of what a development arc looks like in the W, you're going to say, wow, how could they have taken JC Sheldon when Camilla and Aaliyah and Angel were right there? And it's
Cardoso went ahead of her though, right?
Yeah, Camilla got picked 3rd. And
yeah, whatever.
Got picked 5th.
Close enough. Rakia, that's
the idea stands.
No, Rakia was. Shut up. Aaliyah and Angel, you get the point. Like, it did not look extraordinarily dissimilar from what like rookie Jackie Young would have looked like if she just didn't have talent around her in the way that she did.
Right.
Which Jackie's outline development extremely, but like it's not abnormal.
Yeah, I think like this archetype in Dallas' situation, normal rookie season, they had her playing the 1 for large parts of the season. Off the ball was a lot better, but really couldn't draw fouls. The strength is a major issue, but there's a chance that this is just a valuable role player moving forward.
Yeah, the only guards that I can imagine having like the kind of skill and development that Dallas is both player infrastructure and like on court everything can't screw up is the player they have a 50% chance of picking next spring.
Yeah.
For segment 2, we'll talk more about this draft and looking ahead to the years to come as well. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have a little something different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3 free-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with a YouTube TV base, all you need is a Google account and visit FanDuel.com, download America's #1 sportsbook. Moving to segment 2, the 2024 draft is a little bit different from the standpoint that we had 3 international prospects ranked in our, what was that, top 10? Top 10-ish?
Yeah, in first round grades.
That sounds right. You keep saying first round grades. I hate when we use that term. It is meaningless in the context of what we do.
Well, yeah.
From an understanding of like, how do we rank a player? Traditionally, you would say, top 12 prospects. Those are first rounders.
Sure.
3 in our top 10 is reasonable to me.
Yeah.
With these players, it looks like Carlo will be playing in Dallas next season. Like, that seems possible.
Rest in peace.
Lacan, Poach.
Who knows?
We'll see there.
It's up to them. Poach,
yeah.
I think is pretty clearly at some point going to be coming over to Atlanta. If not 25, then 26. Lacan is, the ball's in her court. No awful pun intended. But if she wants to come over, they're going to be overjoyed to have her. She went as low as she did because
because no one knows.
Yeah, no one knows. She's one of those kinds of French players.
Yeah.
She could be Marine Fatho. She could be Marine Johannes in terms of commitment.
Too good, too French, then you just might get.
Is that the Fast and Furious spinoff where they all?
Yeah.
Where instead of driving around sports cars, they're just driving around Renaults.
And it's not Vin Diesel; it's Vin Diesel.
This is why we used to record on Saturday mornings and not at night.
I don't know. You know what I learned from this draft? Having an elite skill, any elite skill, is a good thing for you as a basketball player.
Unless it's a really useless elite skill.
Unless you're just a shooter. W teams don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But yeah, if your elite skill is just like picking someone's pocket at the point of attack, as long as there is no ball screen, maybe you will almost have the worst scoring season in league history. Who can I be talking? Yeah.
If your elite skill is being 6'7", that works. If your elite skill is offensive rebounding, that works.
Wait. The elite skill of being 6'7" has not worked for Baby Shaq, to be clear. So this is not a great rule of thumb.
She did what she was asked to do by the Los Angeles Sparks coaching staff.
The thing is, though, is the elite skill can get you on the court. Like, that can set you up.
Personally, I would just like to state for the record that I don't care if I have an elite skill. I do not want to get on a WNBA court. I know what will happen. I would like to be spared the humiliation.
Fair enough. It's sometimes we can get so caught up in looking at detractors and things that a player can't do, when having an elite skill is still an important thing.
Yeah, fair enough. Hot take.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ricky Jackson good at hoop.
Yeah, very, very good at put ball in basket. That's her elite skill.
Yeah, I mean, even with the shooting sort of strongly expected shooting regression that came at the end of the season.
Regression doesn't mean.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one. Definitely some. I mean, in terms of everyone's sort of progression over the year. I think she was probably the player where I most saw improvements that were, sort of the little things that really help in the long run, the little things that we don't necessarily project for someone who's, 24 years old, 25, however, just sort of at this kind of stage. In terms of the reaction time, in terms of quick thinking off the catch, those were all, I think, very impressive in ways that really bump up her ability to be that sort of tertiary scoring role.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think
on like a
helped
good
Rakia, one of the things that I think helped Rakia a lot was getting Azrae Stevens back midway through the season for LA, because having a 4 and a 5 that are both capable shooters next to Rakia is much better than having a 4 and a 5 that cannot shoot.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
Another huge thing.
I know one coach might disagree with you.
that I noticed with Rakia was in with Tennessee throughout her college career, from her freshman year, she would catch and do that catch and pause. Like she would catch.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. In terms
it was like a weird where it was like it's technically a catch and shoot 3, but she like catches the ball and like jabs or whatever and then shoots it. But with LA, you can tell that this staff has been like, you catch the ball, you fire it right away. It's given her like so much more time. And then
and we know that's something that you very much can develop. It just requires a certain level of infrastructure that most teams either don't have or don't know how to have.
For sure.
And I think what was most impressive to me is I think just the confidence level. I think that's such a huge thing with young players and coming into the league. I think we kind of expected it. Like even though we were lower on Rakia as a prospect compared to the consensus, we knew coming in that she was going to score the ball. But I think at the level she scored at from an efficiency standpoint at points was well past my expectations, I feel.
Yeah, she definitely hit the upside in terms of a rookie season. It's a tough archetype in terms of making very confident projections, because they're just sort of things that most of her skills are just things that, at least statistically, take a while to, what's the word I'm looking for? Stabilize. Yeah, stabilize. So it's a little tough in that sense, especially with the shooting. But yeah, like we said, there are some really positive aspects there. Defense looked a lot better, I think.
A lot better
than what it definitely could have, especially in that context, given the infrastructure in LA in terms of the lineups. Am I missing anything here? Oh, Lena Fibish.
Yeah, Fibish, very, very good at basketball. But if Rakia can continue to just hit 35% of 3+ threes a game, that is absolutely massive for her off-ball utility.
Absolutely. And that's not a small ask, but it certainly is capable.
It's what she did this season. If she can just keep that up, that's massively helpful.
Right. Like, I mean, Gabby Williams said stretches where she's hit like 3 of 5 threes for like multiple games in a row. So
she didn't take it for 10 games.
Yeah.
I think we saw a lot from Rakia to be optimistic, because there were some concerns as far as can she play the 3, and I think that opens up some more like team building flexibility now that she's shown that she can shoot some more threes. The volume's up a little bit. The translation of a lot of different skills.
Yeah, even if I still don't, necessarily love her defending there, it's at least enough mobility laterally that helps with that. And we knew she was definitely that caliber of athlete, but the ability to, I think, stay coordinated off the catch is a big one there.
Especially the handle. I feel like she's been better, like changing directions a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
So having Cameron Brink, Rakia Jackson, Shanice Swain, that's a solid foundation there. Maybe Paige. That's pretty fun.
It's unfortunate there aren't any other young players there.
Adding a top 3 pick for them is going to be really fun, whether that's very often kind of redundant, or a point guard if it's Paige Beckers or Olivia Miles. Very fun basketball coming.
I think we're probably overrating the odds that Olivia gets picked top 3, which like we're gonna probably have her like top 3, top 4 in this class, but it feels like an instance where the W is going to overthink a lot of it.
They've never done that before.
No, we haven't spent the entire summer talking about that. Chelsea grade like 12.
In segment 3, we'll wrap it up with this draft and a look ahead to the future as well. Looking ahead to the future 2024 draft. Em, you good there?
There's pass interference. Come on, that's faster. He's grabbing his jersey.
Tangles. Nah.
That's offensive pass interference.
One thing that I think is interesting about this class and how we do like scouting, our approach, what do you think you've learned most about this class, like from like how you're looking to like future drafts as well, like how you're approaching looking at future drafts, would you say?
I'm going to look at the international players that bad GMs draft and then trade, and then I'm going to assume that they're just going to be great. It keeps happening. This year we had Leonid Fibish. This is my extremely smooth way of segueing us into talking about Leonid Fibish before we talk about that question. Because
that's why you should just listen to the random names I bring up.
Well, we were already like 22 minutes into this podcast.
Yeah, it's Nastia Clayson's time.
Also, I do listen to them. I watched the freaking Euro stuff last year so that we could rank them. I watched Elena Buenavida and Alicia Flores for you.
They were fun, though. You liked Buenavida. At one point, you're like, this is a 40 grade.
Yeah, and then I watched like another 2 minutes. Alicia Flores was fun. Buenavida was just mildly interesting for like 1 second.
Flores was fun if you like just did not know anything about the numbers. Like you just like
yeah, that's what I do. I'm like an MLB scout from like 2007.
You're the team in Moneyball that's just like, we can't replace that.
I'm the Yankees.
That's a.
I'm the Steinbrenner Yankees of scouting. What does that mean? I don't know. It's time. It's late. I'm tired.
I learned about this draft that situation is important. That's not. It matters.
You already knew that.
Yeah, but context exists.
Basketball is a land of contrasts. The real rookies were the friends we made along the way.
Basketball did not just fall out of a coconut tree. It's actually existed in the context of the entire league. And when you put bigs on the same team together, okay.
Leonie Fibish.
Good at hoop. Very good. Excellent.
Very fun.
Is she 24, 25?
I think this was her age 24 season.
Yeah.
My immediate reaction to Fibish's rookie season. Also, shout out to Lincoln for winning our draft, our under 25 draft.
Back-to-back champ.
This was her age 24 season. So she was basically just the age of a super senior.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she has the chance to be like one of the most valuable role players like of this era if she plays in the W like enough, which is like maybe my concern.
Yeah, I mean, it's either this or the German league.
You never know. Luckily, it's New York.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice city, I say, looking out my window. It's a nice. I've heard from various players. I wouldn't know from firsthand experience. That's it's a decent environment for playing women's basketball in that arena.
Yeah.
I think they averaged the fourth or fifth most attendance in league. In league history this year. Maybe it was total. I think they had like the fourth highest total league attendance, which is like great and also like very depressing because they used to play 20 games a season.
They did.
With Fibish, it's such a unique player. I think we're gonna see more of these 6'4" wings. Like we have another 6'4" wing coming to the draft next year.
Yeah, it's not a. I don't want to say it's not a unique skill set, but it's a unique player in that like it's a very normal skill set, but just also like tall.
Yeah.
Which is like I'm not trying to undermine the point you made at all. It's just like it's just something you're used to, but also you're like, Wait, that's a really
Usually
tall
this player
guard.
is 5'10" and a half.
5'10". Yeah.
It's not even like. Do you remember whenever people were saying like a me here is a wing?
She might be.
Yeah, I remember when people kept. Didn't you argue that at one
I
point?
remember when Letitia
No.
here was the best point of attack defender on the 2022
Oh yeah, she was
South Carolina
defensively,
team.
but like
I thought someone on
She
our
started
team
at point
argued
guard
she
for
was
like a
wing.
month.
Yeah. It was also a bullshit point guard starting. It was literally just throw the ball into the elbow and then move, and maybe you get an assist out of it. She
What I
brought the
mean
ball
is-
up the court. That doesn't make you a point guard minion more.
Phoebus has like mostly guard wing skills. Like she doesn't really have.
Yeah,
many.
she's
Like,
an off. Yeah, she's
it's-
a
that's
3-and-D
the-
wing. But like
6'4".
taller than Brianna Stewart, or as tall as Brianna Stewart.
They had her playing the two some this season.
It was
They're
great.
they're
It was
starting at the
very
two.
fun.
Starting at the two. I think that changes like a little bit of how we look at future prospects because we have an example now of like this archetype. I think you don't think?
I
might
think you
change
changed
how
to the
the league
league looks
does
at
it.
them.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Yeah, the league. Because
We're
like,
not
you
the
know,
league though.
Guards are all 6 foot and under, and the bigs are 6'3" and over. Except
Shout
for
out
Danielle
Sydney
Adams.
Parrish off ball guard. the littlest big there was, the children's book.
any final words?
I love basketball. What a great sport.
I'm excited for the college season to start because I need everything to be stupider.
That's true.
This season was kind of wacky, but it wasn't stupid enough.
We could get. There's a high potential for stupidity in the playoffs.
Go Merc.
That 2-7 could be interesting. Could be.
Or
The stupidest thing possible is Atlanta Dream home game to win the first round.
Is that kind of stupid?
Yes.
I mean, I guess it would kind of stupid because Liberty are the only reason that they get that game anyway because they just handed them the playoff qualifier.
Yes, it would be incredibly stupid and also incredibly funny.
I can't wait for all the discourse that's going to arrive about having to play Game 3 on the road.
you legit only need like a Ryan Howard 40 ball. Like
Exactly.
that could happen again. Then you're like going to a game 3.
Well, yeah,
Tina Charles could have 30-20.
on
Who knows?
70 shots
Yeah, you
against
never know.
JJ.
Never know.
Shoot, you never know.
I mean, no. I mean,
Well,
I
anything's
think that
possible.
is Tina Charles' personal motto. Shoot, you never know what could happen.
Exactly.
It might be the day though. You never.
Wait, no,
you
sorry,
never
that's
know.
Ariel Towers.
No.
I know the
Think-
answer is she gets kicked off of every team you're ever on.
This was a podcast, so we appreciate you for listening to our
If you're
podcast
still
every
here,
day.
Seek help.
Oh, bless you.
Join the team at the next week for continued coverage of women's basketball. Make your second listen Locked On Sports Today, the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone.